All right. Hey, this is Stephen Gardner, best-selling author of Taming Wall Street, and I have Benny from the Think Money YouTube channel with me today, and we want to talk about multiple different financial topics, including stimulus, investing, stock market, how to make money with YouTube. We're going to cover a lot of things, but Benny, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you and your channel today.
Hey, Stefan. No, thank you. Thank you for having me. The pleasure is all mine. It's
Yeah.
an incredible opportunity you're providing me here, and I'm looking forward to this collab.
Great. So, on my channel, I talk a lot about personal finance, smart money tips. I try to give motivational stories. Right now, the big thing is these stimulus checks that everybody's waiting for, the unemployment. What do you think? Are we going to get a stimulus check in the month of August, or are we going to be talking about this in 2021?
To be honest, that's the question I had in store for you, Stefan.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, it's
go ahead.
it's crazy. As I was walking home yesterday, and you could just hear people walking down the street, like, "Oh my God, when are we gonna get this stimulus check? When are we gonna get the unemployment check continued? It's $600 right now. They still want that." So it's just crazy. Like people on the street as I'm walking home are just talking about it, and it's just crazy right now. I can't believe that the Congress hasn't come up with a deal.
Yeah, they're moving incredibly slow. I keep saying the Democrats went too big and the Republicans went too slow, and so between those two, it's like nothing's getting done. But I think that we're going to see something in August. They go on break in the next 5 days. For 30 days, they're going to be out of Washington, and so I think that we will see some kind of agreement and bill sent up to President Trump before the end of this week. But I could be wrong. I'm not in Congress, and these guys seem to be professional when it comes to dragging their feet.
That's right. I mean, I think if we get another stimulus package and a check, this will be the last one. Just one and two, because this is just crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it'll all
So,
depend on the lockdown, states reopening. But as of right now, I think people should just plan on one more check and then some kind
mhm.
of unemployment over the next couple months.
Right. I mean, hopefully everything starts to get better. I don't see the situation worsening, as my opinion, but I'm just very optimistic. So I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, I'm hoping that people will see that stimulus check in the month of August. That's what I'm
Right.
hoping for, and I think it will happen just based on everything that I'm seeing and reading, which is a ton. That's my own opinion.
So, Stefan, coming across your YouTube page, I noticed the banner on your page. You have a book, and you're an author, and it's called Taming Wall Street. So that title caught my attention. Can you tell me a little bit about that book?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was my seventh book. I have 8 books out total, and that was my seventh. It's probably my most popular, the one that people move forward with the most when they become a client. But I show my wealthy clients how to build large pools of tax free money that they can tap into while they're alive and during their working years. If an opportunity comes up for their own debt, or if an emergency comes up, where right now you've probably talked to people, if you have an emergency and your only money is a 401k, you've got to take a
Hmm.
20 to 30% hit to touch your own money. Like, what
That's
kind
right.
of a plan is that? It's terrible, right? And so Taming Wall Street shows people how to build these large pools of tax-free money that they have liquid access to. There's not a lot of guidelines on how you can use that money, but you get to grow that money completely tax-free as long as we follow certain rules. And then the second half of the book is, if somebody has a lump sum of cash, IRA, or an old 401k, we can roll it over into that. And it's the closest thing I've seen to investing in the stock market without taking on the risk of Wall Street. And so it does tap into Wall Street, but it's a tamer version of Wall Street without the risk. So that's what Taming Wall Street's about. And it is a fun title. When that title came up, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a great title.
Definitely. So many people struggle with debt and finances. So have you always been a financial guy yourself, or did something happen in your lifetime that made you um, change or become a better financial person?
Both. So I've always been very interested in money from a very young age. I went on a Christian service mission to Puerto Rico. And while I was there, part of it, I got to help people with their budgeting and their finance. And it just came very natural to me. And then when I got back in 2003, I got into the insurance industry with Allstate Insurance and worked that for a couple of years. And then around 2000, 2007, 2008, I ended up losing 38% in my 401k with the Great Recession. And I was
I
like,
remember.
yeah, I was like, you know what? Never again. So I started researching to figure out where wealthy people were growing their money outside of Wall Street. And then I ended up liquidating my entire 401k and moving forward. And I'm happy to say that the programs that I put my own money into did not lose any money in March, which was awesome. And many of my clients are in those programs as well. But that right there was kind of the impetus that got me going on. Okay, wait a minute. There's got to be a way to grow your money without all this risk. And
Hmm.
I'm not a pure Wall Street hater. I think that there is a place for Wall Street, but I think it's also a wild animal that most people have not figured out how to tame.
Uh, Thinking back to 2008, I was just in high school, if I recall correctly. But I wasn't too affected, obviously, because I was young at the time. And my I guess my version of that would be now in March, right? Because of what happened with the coronavirus, and I do have money in the stock market, and I experienced that big dip. But I didn't panic. I guess it's because of my age, so I'm still relatively young, and I just kept going with it. Just kept going with it. Didn't panic, and I'm glad I didn't panic. So because I would have been down, but
Yeah.
and that's just because of the amount of time I've put into researching the stock market on here on YouTube. There's a lot of great content on here.
Yeah, yeah, there really is. You know what? Uh, on my channel, sometimes people assume that I must be like filthy rich because I'm calm. And the truth is like I already went through this 12 years ago. I lived through that nightmare. I got my hat handed to me. You know, losing a house, having to give back a car, like it was nasty. Living
Wow.
on food stamps and unemployment, and so like I've been through all of that. That's why I have so much compassion for what people are going through. But I said
Right.
never again will I go through that, and I didn't. And so we've been okay, and that's one reason why I've been able to be a source of calm and guidance for people, is because I'm not personally going through that panic. But it's because I already went through it. So
Right.
hopefully everybody coming out of this will go never again, and
Never,
they'll behave smart with their money going forward.
that's a great lesson to learn in these times, for sure, for sure. Um, so when it comes to investing, what inspired you to start investing, or would you like to discuss the importance of it?
Okay.
Because I know so many people that they just work. Maybe they might save a few bucks here and there, but they don't really actually do anything with their money. Um, in my eyes, there's four things that you have to do when it comes to money. It's either invest in real estate, invest in the stock market, invest in a business, or invest in yourself by learning a new skill and then making that skill work for you. So would you like to discuss the importance
Yeah.
of that?
Well, for me, and I've known this for many years, and I try to teach this on my own channel, is you have to become a good saver. If you cannot set money aside every single month, then something's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with your budget. And that's okay, but you need to admit that something's got to change, right? And then you've got to figure out lifestyle change, lower your bills or increase your pay. And I know that's kind of hard right now with what we're going through, but these are just general ideas, right? So you've
Mm-hmm.
got to create that margin, that surplus money, so that you can become a good saver, right? And that discipline of becoming a good saver builds up over time. But then the next step in that is you can't save your way to wealth.
Right.
Bank interest rates are so low, they're laughable. Um, going the safe route with bank products or money under the mattress, that doesn't work anymore. So you've got
No.
to, like you say, you've got to invest in yourself to make more money. You've got to create a business. You've got to figure out how to do Wall Street. Now, I honestly believe the biggest bang for everybody's buck is to own some kind of business or side hustle. That's where the
Right.
money is at in America. If you really dig in and research wealth, almost everybody that's wealthy in America has a business, or they're an owner in somebody else's business, right? And the easiest way to be an owner in someone else's business is through the stock market, right? I could go on right now through my phone while we're sitting here, and I could buy, a stock right now, and I become a micro owner inside of a major business, right? And
Right.
so, but I think having that skill set and that discipline of becoming a good saver, and then realizing you can't save your way to wealth, you have to start investing, you have to start doing something. Those are kind of the two first baby steps to getting going.
Correct. I definitely agree. It starts with saving. I noticed that people don't tend to want to save because honestly, it sucks, right? It sucks to have to put money aside every month. Maybe you want to go outside with friends, you want to have dinners at restaurants, and it sucks to start. But I promise you that once you start and you get the ball rolling, it just doesn't stop rolling after that. But the hard part is just getting started.
Yeah, there's something really important to our mind about watching that nest egg grow, right? And seeing it grow, and it's really good for our mental health to do that. But
Absolutely.
with bank rates being so low, people, especially younger people, maybe in your age group, they have this like YOLO mentality, right? You only live once. And so it's like they want the toys, they want the night out, they want to go to the bar, they want to go to the club, they want, the nice car. And, at some point, those things can start to own you. And then all of a sudden you're behind, and you're like, man, where did I go wrong? And so, I don't necessarily ascribe to Dave Ramsey's idea of living on rice and beans, although I love the taste of rice and beans. I think you should still sprinkle in some fun, but if you're only having fun, then it's going to come back to bite you down the road.
For sure, for sure. Dave Ramsey was actually a big mentor getting me started on the right path. As you described right now, the YOLO mentality, wanting to have the nice things. Back in 2017, like I mentioned, I was working and just, I had money coming in from my job, and I didn't know pretty much what to do with it. So I said, why not lease a new Mercedes Benz? So, after about a year of that, I quickly got tired of, those monthly payments, and so I said I have to do something better with my money.
Yeah.
And I found Dave Ramsey on YouTube, and he's like, the worst leasing is the worst thing you can do. And he taught me a lot. So I got rid of the car, and here I am on my way to, doing the right thing.
Yeah, if you're a business owner, leasing can be the smartest thing because you get to write it off on your taxes. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
some
agree.
people do that.
There's a lot of things I like about Dave Ramsey. I think he's great at helping people get out of debt. I don't think he's great at making people wealthy. He's
Right.
got he's got these pie in the sky 12% or higher mutual funds that just don't exist. So
Yeah. Yeah, Dave Ramsey is something else, but his intentions are great. He really helps the people that are really, really struggling, people that need that extra financial help. Those are the his core audience, I believe.
yeah, yep,
So
absolutely.
being that my channel is all about stocks, I just wanted to quickly ask you, uh which are your favorite stocks in your
Okay.
opinion?
Yeah, so I get
Which
I
do
get
you like?
asked this a lot. We talked about this pre-show production. I don't do a lot in the stock market, but I'll just tell you a few of the ones that I own. So I actually am pretty heavy into Ford right now, and
Okay.
also into General Electric, right? And the reason being is I saw that within like the last 20 days, Ford was around like $7.50, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before the lockdown, it was around $10. So I was like, okay, I don't need it to go back to 10 to make a decent return, but it was hovering right around $6, right? So when I did the math, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Even if it goes back to around 750, I can make a 25% return on my money, right? And
Right.
so I just let math guide me, right? Not my emotions. And I put it in, and I ended up doing really well. And now Ford's kind of bouncing around a little bit, but it's a company I'm willing to hold because I don't believe that they're going to go bankrupt. Another one that I did the same thing with General Electric. It was around $7. It dropped down to around 6. I ran the math and I was like, okay, I can make around an 18 to 19%. I could probably sell in August, and it went up there. And I was like, I got a little bit greedy. I said, I'm going to let it ride just a little bit longer. And now I'm down $322 as of this morning. So, but
Oh
I don't
boy.
panic. I'm just going to hold because I believe General Electric's a great company that's going to come back. They are going to see a little bit of slowdown with the aviation slowdown, but they're not going to go out of business. So those are two companies that are just big companies that I hold. In I don't know any of these numbers, so nobody listening to this do this. But same thing happened back in April and May. I was looking at, okay, do I want to go into Disney because they're such a big company, or do I want to look at their competitor, which was Six Flags? Well, again, when I ran the mathematical scenario, I was like, wait a minute. Disney's a stronger company, but Six Flags has a much greater upside potential. So I threw a couple $1,000s into Six Flags and it rose. And then around July 10th, when I realized they weren't going to have a normal summer season, I was like, you know what? Oh, no, excuse me, June 10th, not July 10th,
Yeah,
June
it
10th.
was June 10th.
Yeah, June
Mm-hmm. That
10th.
was the
I said,
peak.
you know what? I'm done. I pulled it. I ended up making I think $500 or $600. I did really, really well percentage wise, and I walked away and I haven't looked back because they're not going to have the
Great.
same thing. So those are some of the parameters that I look at is just, okay, right now I'm not trying to do like, I do want the brand name. I don't want companies that might go out of business. And so I'm focusing on where were they at in end of February, where were they at like 2 weeks ago, and where are they at today? And that's kind of some guiding principles that I do for my own money.
Okay. Me personally, I'm very into dividend growth investing. I'm not sure if you're familiar
Yes,
with
yep,
the term.
absolutely.
And I think it's the best decision I've made in terms of, uh, building my wealth and growing a portfolio. So I would have never known about this unless it was for YouTube. I came across channels like Joseph Carlson. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he has a great channel on dividend investing. PPC Ian is another great one. He's probably the best dividend investing channel in my opinion. But I really learned a lot from those guys, and starting a portfolio for dividends, it's the the most basic and easy thing you can do as a beginner wanting to get in the stock market. I really recommend it. If real estate is off the table, if investing in a business is off the table, um, but you see the growth every month. When you take that step, and the important thing here is just to take the time to study what you have to study in regards to the stock market. Study the companies you want to invest in. My whole thing is invest in companies that you love. For example, which products do you use every day? Who makes your coffee? Is it Starbucks? Which toothpaste do you use? Is it
Yeah.
Colgate? You look around the house. Which cleaning products do you use? Is it Clorox? You take a look at your phone. Are you using an Apple phone? Right? These are things that you use every day, and they aren't going anywhere. So, but the issue is that we haven't been taught this in school, right? I don't know who would have taught me anything about investing if it wasn't for YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I graduated from the David Eccles School of Business at the University of Utah, and during this rise in education, no financial education was happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So almost all of it has had to be learned from reading books. You know, I'm actually fairly new to YouTube and learning from YouTube just in the last few months, but before that, you know, it was just all through books and authors and going to seminars and different things like that. But so would you mind sharing like maybe 2 or 3 of your favorite dividend stocks?
Well, I have I say about 18 of them in my portfolio. And the important thing for me is being diversified, right? So every the stock market has different sectors. You have your financials, you have your industrials, you have your tech, right? You have your healthcare, you have your REITs, which is investing in real estate, which is another great way to invest in real estate if you don't have access to physical. I live in New York City, so trying to find a house to invest here, you better have some money.
Yeah,
So,
big money.
yeah. So I break it down by sector, right? And I want to have a stock, 1 or 2 stocks in each of these sectors, and that's how you become diversified, right? So for tech, I really love Apple. Like the ecosystem is tremendous, right? Everyone uses their products, the iPhones, the Macs. You know, it's incredible what they've done. Microsoft is another one that's huge. Then they both pay dividends. So healthcare is AbbVie is one I really like because of the dividend. You know, they make medicine and cure diseases and that type of thing. Is a pharmaceutical company. Industrials, I like Caterpillar. I don't know about you, but every time I go anywhere near a construction site, all I see is Caterpillar machines.
Yeah, Caterpillar, Komatsu. Yeah, I recognize some of those names.
Hmm. What do we have? What else do we have? Let me just take a look here. Let me go through my portfolio.
So do you do anything outside of dividend stocks, or do you particularly
Uh,
just stick to dividends? Even that way, whether things go up or down, you get your dividend.
well, the thing is that as a beginner, investing in dividends is the easiest way to get started, right? So I have a year and change now investing. So what I noticed is that as you grow as an investor, as time passes, you start learning new techniques, you start learning new strategies, right? So now I'm into all sorts of different ways to bring in income from my portfolio. So now I'm bringing in, aside from dividends, now I'm bringing in income from premium. That's options trading. There's a conservative way to do options trading, but you really have to like dig into this stuff and research this. But I don't like to talk to beginners about it because it's like unlocking a level, you know.
Yeah, if you do it wrong, I mean, I just read an article. Young man has like 16,000 on Robinhood.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
a wrong investment, ends up 700,000 in debt, kills himself.
It's crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. There's different levels to it. The way I'm talking about it's very conservative. It's called selling covered calls and selling cash secured puts. But the portfolio is growing. It's really growing. So we have companies like QCOM is another tech company. They make the chips for Apple. They're a great company. Oh, how could I forget about this? Pepsi. I love Pepsi. You know,
Okay.
everyone's snacking on all their chips and soda. Um, Johnson and Johnson is another great one. You know,
Okay.
they make all these products you use at home. So that's kind of the gist of things. The thing is just buy companies that you love, and you know they aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, Warren Buffett's been preaching that for 20 years, right? If you're going to
Right.
fly Delta, you should own Delta. If you're going to fly JetBlue or, so yeah, that's
Although I stay away from those companies at the time. Right now.
yeah, I actually did pretty well on them in the spring, and then I realized the airline industry is really going to struggle. So I took my profits off the table and walked away. But yeah, I was able to make money on them and then walk away.
So speaking about YouTube, I have a question I want to ask you. It struck me by surprise that you reached out to me and asked to do a collab video. So my question is, how did you come across my channel? You being that you have a big audience, and I'm barely getting my started here on YouTube. So
Yeah.
how did you come across my channel?
I think I saw you made a comment in the feed, and I try to go through as many comments as I can, and I will click on them randomly. I'll pull up, like yesterday I saw this girl and I went on her channel. I was like, okay, yeah, she's got like 2,300 people. She talks about
Mhm,
crocheting, not really in
mhm.
my wheelhouse, but I said I send good energy, but I don't reach out, right? And then I ran across another one. I just did a collab with Ron Yates. Same thing. I just happened to
Right.
find him while searching around. And anyway, I think you had made comments about stimulus, something about Congress getting going. It made me laugh. So I clicked on and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this sounds cool. So anyway, yeah, it was just me seeing that you had made a comment on my channel.
I'm always making these funny comments on YouTube. I get a kick out of them.
I get some naughty ones on there too. I don't usually collaborate with those people.
That's a tip I'd give to new content creators is
Oh, okay.
if you're starting out on YouTube making videos, definitely go out on um, other YouTube channels similar to your niche, and provide feedback, provide comments, leave good comments, and
Yeah.
all that constant work ethic is going to come back to you. And
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta put out energy to get energy to come back to you. So yeah, in your
exactly.
case, it worked out, and I'm excited for the opportunity to do this together.
And same here, and it's crazy because this is my first collab. As I
Oh, is
mentioned
it?
earlier,
Okay.
this is my first collab, and never did I think that I'd have a collab with a big YouTuber such as yourself.
You know what's funny is when I was about your size, I would reach out to people and get rejected over and over again, and they'd be like, "I don't have time. I don't have time for this." And then now I reach out, and people go, "What's this guy's motives? He must want something," And I'm like, "This is just who I am." Like I love to collaborate. I love to help other people grow their business.
Right.
It ends up growing my business in the long run, and so there's plenty of business out there.
Yeah.
I don't see the world as one pie, and like if somebody's rich, then I have to be poor. I'm an
Right.
entrepreneur. I just go make more pies, right? Like I have my head down, focused 10 hours a day on what is going to help my community, what's going to help my family. I don't get caught up in whatever other people are doing. I see some of these other YouTubers that they get into these like fights and battles, and I'm like, picking on me would be a waste of time because I'm probably not going to even notice.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I definitely know what you mean.
yeah.
I didn't even plan on collabing at all with of or me sending out anyone any collab request because my channel was so small. I wanted to wait till maybe I had like 10,000 subscribers and maybe I feel comfortable reaching out to someone. But
No, reach
that's how
out.
it works.
When I had 100 people, I said to my wife, I can't believe 100 people care what I think about. And so, but I started reaching out. Like I said, I got rejected a lot. I
Right.
had people that were like, "What's your motives?" And I would explain them, but yeah, I started getting them when I was in the hundreds. So don't give up. Just put it out there, but just have good intentions. And now my community is like, I don't even know what it is, 550,000 strong or something like that. It might be
Yeah.
lower or higher, I don't know. But anyway, the other thing that I could say to anyone that's maybe wanting to start a YouTube is you have to be true to your community. If you do clickbait or you try to trick people, it will come back to burn you. And
Hmm.
I try to be authentic, I try to be honest, and I never do clickbait. And then I focus big time on search. Search is really, really important when it comes to starting a channel, because all you need is one video that kind of takes off, right? Like I remember my videos would get like 50 to 100 views. And then one day, one of my videos got 7,000 views. And I told my wife, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And
that that reminds me of how I started on YouTube. I started in 2017. Um, and I only did 7 videos in the span of 2 months. I did
okay.
7 videos on the car I mentioned earlier, the Mercedes Benz. So I was really into cars back then. So I made 7 videos on the car. One of those videos, I didn't really check YouTube anymore. But one of those videos now has 550,000 1,000 views or somewhere around there.
Wow, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So just from those 7 videos, that got me to 1,000 subscribers. But in the span of a year and a half, because like I mentioned, I stopped making YouTube videos. I just left those 7 videos there. But when I checked the next year and a half, I noticed, hey, I have 1,000 subscribers, and this was at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
So I noticed that, and then I noticed all the views from that video. I had already reached the mark of the 4,000 hours of watch time, which is a requirement.
Yes.
So I said, hey, maybe I should really take this serious. So I started my channel back up in this January.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to creating content. I really like it here. The audience is growing.
Yes.
And I'm getting a lot of positive energy. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Don't give up. Don't give up. I started my channel in 2008.
Oh, wow.
So, it was a lot of groundwork to find that momentum and get going. So I just tell people, never give up, never give up. So
that's the quote of the month. Never give up, never keep trying, and keep going, right?
Yes. Yeah. Keep going, keep trying, keep believing. I don't know why sometimes things work out, but if you just keep moving in the direction of your goal, somehow doors open. I don't know if
Absolutely.
I don't know if God or the universe or whatever you want to call it rewards your activity and you're trying, but for some reason that I found that to be true for me.
Absolutely. You got to put that energy out into the universe and it will come back to you in multiple ways and better.
Yep. So. Absolutely.
So Stefan, if anyone would want to get a hold of you, how can they reach you?
Yeah, so they can go to YouTube and type in Stephen Gardner, and this face will come up, or they can check out my website yourbridgeplan.com, and I've got information on there. They can get a free copy, a digital copy of my best-selling book, Taming Wall Street. But those would be probably the 2 best ways to connect. What about for you?
Awesome.
How should they connect with you?
Just go on YouTube on here and just, type in Think Money, and then you'll see me pop up. Right.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah. Well, hey, I really appreciate you doing this collaboration, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope your channel just continues to grow and explode and do really well, because you're sharing really good information with people.
Thank you, Stefan. We'll keep in touch through the comments as always.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.